Welcome into Mavericks Today. I am Jeffrey Cooperstein, filling in for Harrison Graham on today's show. We have a loaded show, so let's get right into it. Are the Mavericks a Pascal Siakam destination? An NBA insider says, not so fast, my friend. The latest on Josh Green trade rumors as well, and Mavericks injury news heading into tonight's game against the Portland Trail Blazers. Let's get right into it. We'll start with Jake Fischer, my favorite NBA insider, flip-flop Fischer, who said the Mavericks were going to re-sign Jalen Brunson. Yeah, that worked out really well. Anyways, Jake Fischer reports that the Mavericks are not a viable destination for Siakam at this juncture, and that doesn't really surprise me simply just because of the price point it's going to be. Siakam this year, 22.4 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, over 50% from the field, 28.5% from three. That's kind of the stickler there for the Mavericks, and I think this could really just mean one of two things. One, the Mavericks don't like the price that the Raptors are asking, which is kind of weird to me considering the Raptors didn't give up a first-round pick didn't get a first-round pick back for OG Anunoby. They just got Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, two good players, but you would have expected a first-round pick. Mavericks only have one available first-round pick to trade right now, so we'll see what they decide to do there. And number two, I think the Mavericks could have their eyes set on someone else. We'll talk about a specific player later in the show, but on the last show, he told you about these 5 guys who the Mavericks could be looking at. We got Lauri Markkanen. Obviously, he's going to be the biggest name on the trade market. I'm not sure the Mavericks are going to be players there. The Mavericks did register some level of interest in P.J. Washington over the offseason, but he ended up staying with the Charlotte Hornets. Same with Tobias Harris. The Mavericks have been linked basically with Tobias Harris and Jeremy Grant, it seems, every single offseason for the past 3 or 4 seasons. If there's one person on this list, I think it would be Tobias Harris, but back to Siakam for just 1 second. I really do like what he brings, but I think the interest from the Mavericks level seems pretty low at this point in time. I don't think the Mavericks are going to be willing to give up a first-round pick or give up a guy like Josh Green or Jaden Hardy, and we'll talk about Josh Green in a minute because the report from Fisher about Josh Green just blows my mind. But let me know, what's your interest in Pascal Siakam at this point? Scale it 1 to 10. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so when you get hit with the YouTube ad break, get your comment down below. Give me your level of interest in Pascal Siakam, 1 through 10. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We have year-round Mavericks coverage, news, rumors, analysis, free agency, draft coverage, maybe some more watch parties. Now that the NFL season's wrapping up, we're going to get on this NBA grind. Producer Patrick Seaman, who's producing this video today, is going to be with me on some of those, I'm sure. So we'll be excited to do that. So be sure to hit that subscribe button for all your latest Mavericks news and rumors. Speaking of your latest Mavericks news, this Josh Green report blows my mind, and I know it sent Mavs Twitter into an absolute frenzy. According to Jake Fischer, Yahoo Sports, of course, the Mavericks are rebuffing inquiries for Josh Green, who they gave a 3-year extension to the day before the season ended. I can't believe this, man. I mean, this is what this guy did in his first 3 seasons. He's a good player. He's not someone that you should not put in a deal for the sake of keeping him because you extended him. He's improved every single season up to this point. And if you take a look at the stats this season, it's not good for Green. Just 6.5 points, less than 3 boards, not shooting a very efficient 43% from the field. His 3-point numbers are okay, but again, that's based on the fact that he takes about 2 3-pointers a night. He was also injured with an elbow injury. He was out for about a month or so. My overall point is this. Josh Green cannot be what stands in the way between Nico Harrison and Mark Cuban making a blockbuster trade for a player. Now, the contract that he signed makes it a little bit easier for the Mavericks to move him. 3 years, $41 million. So the Mavericks will be able to move Josh Green in any sort of deal that they want. But right now, going up to the 2024 trade deadline, it's actually a little more difficult given the poison pill restriction in his contract where the Mavericks have to send out his money, but they have to take back more money. It's very complicated, and we can get into that if the Josh Green rumors continue to stay up, and they might end up trading him. So we'll get into that in just a minute. But coming up, I want to talk about a player that I would trade Josh Green for. It's a player that has been in the news lately. You guys may have heard of him, so we'll talk about that in a moment. But first, I want to give a shout-out to today's sponsor at PrizePicks. We absolutely love PrizePicks here on Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. PrizePicks is super easy. All you have to do is just pick 2 to 6 players and put your projections in, and you can win money. My projections for tonight, I have Luka Doncic more than 34.5 points. He's going to kill the Portland Trail Blazers. He does it every single time. Now, I will say this. Luka is questionable with an ankle injury, which we'll get to, so hopefully he still plays. But if he plays, easy more than 34.5 points. And Jeremy Grant, I'm also going to take the more on him, 19.5 points. The Mavericks have no one whatsoever that's going to be able to guard Jeremy Grant. With Grant Williams also questionable, Derek Lively likely not going to play as well. So I'm not sure if the Mavericks are, if this was 29.5, I might take the more on Grant as well. But nevertheless, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. Jonathan Kuminga. Well. Last night was quite the night for Mr. Kuminga, and after the game, Charania of The Athletic put out a report that Kuminga no longer trusts Steve Kerr with his development as a player. Kuminga is in year 3 after being the 7th overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft. And according to Charania's sources, he no longer has faith in Steve Kerr, which is crazy. He sat the last 18 minutes of last night's loss against the Denver Nuggets. Crazy shot, by the way, by Jokic. Go take a look on it on Twitter if you haven't already. But Kuminga's an interesting player, man. He's improved almost every year in his 3-year career to this point in time. 9 points his rookie season, all the way up to almost 13 this year. The 3-point numbers concern me, but he's not really a 3-point guy. The reason I really like Kuminga on this Mavericks team is because I believe he would be a freakishly athletic wing who could play that 4 that the Mavericks have desperately been lacking. They signed Grant Williams this offseason to try to do that. It has not worked out whatsoever. Maxi Kleber has been hurt. He's been out for over a month with a dislocated toe, so who knows what's going on there. Derek Jones has obviously been a great surprise for the Mavericks, but if the Mavs could land a young guy like Jonathan Kuminga to put alongside Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, I would absolutely love it. Now, I know what you're saying. This may be a crazy overpay for Kuminga, and this may not be his market, but Josh Green in a first-round pick, do the Mavericks jump the line and just go get Jonathan Kuminga? I think it would be an interesting decision for Nico Harrison and for Mark Cuban to make, because I think he could be worth it in the long run. You establish a young core of Derek Lively, who's 19 years old, Jonathan Kuminga in his 3rd season, just 21 years old. So I really think that Kuminga could be a guy that the Mavericks look to in the future, and he could be someone that Dallas could build around alongside Luka and Kyrie. It kind of matches up with his contract as well, being in the 3rd year of his rookie deal. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Would you trade for Jonathan Kuminga? Type Y for yes, type N for no down in the comments. I think I would if the Mavericks could find the right deal with the Golden State Warriors, and if they didn't have to give up a guy like Jaden Hardy, I think I would do it if I were the Mavericks. All right, big one tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. Luka Doncic, Derek Lively, Grant Williams, all questionable, all with ankle injuries. Grant Williams got rolled up in the last game in the 4th quarter, didn't return. Lively obviously got injured once again. You could hear him scream as well. And then Luka popped up on the injury report today. Interesting. In the 3 games the Mavericks have played against the Portland Trailblazers, you lost Kyrie for over a month. You lost Derek Lively for 3 weeks, and then you lose both of them in the game, or you lose Lively and Williams in the last game against Portland. So thankfully, this is the last time the Mavericks are playing the Trailblazers. I'll keep you guys up to date with what happens in that game, as well as any other Mavericks news and rumors. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys soon.